Coming up on the next Evening Magazine, come fly with us. No plane, no shoot, out fun. Plus, a rare look inside the Weyerhaeuser Mansion. I'm Megan Black. Don't miss the next Evening Magazine right after the news. We're taking flight at iFLY Seattle in Tukwila. I'm Megan Black. Evening Magazine starts now.
I'm Michael King in Kirkland. She was a national champion cyclist, but then she got multiple sclerosis. Game over, right? No, for her, it's game on.
I'm St. Brian. Join me for an extremely rare look inside Tacoma's fabled Weyerhaeuser Mansion. It's a house full of secrets and surprises.
He excels at a sport that's measured in millimeters, yet he can barely see the target. How this Whidbey Island man became a world champion with his one-of-a-kind style. And the Mount Vernon Club cleaning up our highways. Clothing optional? It's Evening Magazine for Friday, September 9th.
Hi everyone and welcome to Evening Magazine. Tonight we are flying high. No, we're not at SeaTac Airport. We're not at Boeing Field. Heck, not even in an airplane. We are checking out the brand new indoor skydiving facility, iFLY Seattle, here in Tukwila. It is amazing. You've probably seen the place being constructed just south of 405. You could hardly miss it. I am literally going to fly or skydive indoors without a chute, without wings, just a big old fan helping to keep me afloat. I'm a little bit nervous, but I can't wait to try this out. I think you're going to enjoy it as well. But first tonight, can you imagine being at the top of your game in peak performance, only to get some news that is so devastating it changes it all? How would you cope with that? Well, tonight, Michael King introduces us to a woman who picked herself up and became an inspiration to others.
Thanks, Megan. Multiple sclerosis. Just to say it, you kind of have to slow down. If you get it, it can stop you in your tracks. But a local cyclist decides she's not going to let MS knock her off her bike. Maureen Manley wins a silver medal at the 1990 World Championships. She's a multiple American champion, a teammate of Lance Armstrong's on Team USA. She's even on the back of his cereal box. There isn't a hill she can't climb, until...
The more I pushed myself, the more my vision would blur. And by the time we reached the top of the mountain, my vision had blurred so severely I lost my sight completely. And I raced my bike off the road and crashed, and that's how I knew.
It's at the Women's Tour de France, 1991.
Something was very wrong.
She hears the diagnosis with teammates and friends.
I went to go walk a straight line and I couldn't. And we all looked at each other, shocked.
The body that takes her to great heights is now betraying her at age 26. She has MS.
It was like in a heartbeat, you know, it was all taken away. And it was devastating.
The end of the road for many, but for Maureen, just a different race.
As I rode my bike off one road to begin a journey on a new road.
She is now a much sought-after inspirational speaker, touring the country with her message.
You know, when somebody asks, how do you live with this uncertainty? My answer is live.
Early on, her condition hits hard.
New territory. It's like somebody picked you up and dropped you in the middle of the woods and said, okay, figure this out.
She often finds herself barely able to see, barely able to walk.
But I knew I had a choice, because there was a park bench not too far away from where I was sitting. And I knew I could get up and move to the next park bench.
She just keeps moving.
It's that same determination as I had as a young cyclist to be a world-class cyclist. It is really about looking at what I can do and not ignoring the challenges, but working with them instead of just being grumpy that I have them.
Maureen starts pushing herself like she always had. By 2001, she bungee jumps in Canada. Then in 2003, 12 years after diagnosis, she gets back on the bike in a race.
I'm not cured of my condition. I race with it.
She now rides with a team aptly named Spirit in Motion.
I'm prepared for anything.
She knows she's not Maureen Manley, world-class cyclist anymore.
My left leg is a little weaker than my right leg. And so on a bike, it's wonderful because I can compensate. I have to see my chiropractor quite often.
Given the choice, she'd get rid of her MS in a heartbeat, but she wouldn't trade the last 18 years for anything.
I can't say that I know who I'd be without it. And I see the lives that I've touched and how without the challenge of it, I wouldn't have grown to the level that I have.
And many others have grown too, thanks to her. And she says, thanks to her MS.
The stories that I share about my own journey truly aren't about me. They are my story, but I want them to see themselves in the story. And that way they can go, I can do that.
She's an amazing woman. Well, the annual MS Bike Ride is coming up this weekend. It's a 2-day journey that'll have you winding through Skagit, Whatcom, and Island counties. Now, you can ride anywhere from 22 to 92 miles. It'll be a great experience, and this year, Maureen is going to be riding. The good news is it's not too late to join her. To find out registration information, all you have to do is head off to king5.com, click on Evening Magazine for the necessary link. Well, as you are cruising down the highway, you often see those signs that say this section of highway adopted by such and such a group. Well, there is one group that is getting a whole lot more attention than any other. And tonight, John Miller has the bare facts about this group.
Drive up the interstate and you'll see the signs. The folks from Whidbey Island adopted this stretch. There's the Mount Vernon FFA and the Burlington Edison FFA. In fact, there's barely an organization that hasn't adopted a highway, but here's one that has. Barely.
That's right, we just signed up.
And fittingly, the Lark nudists were greeted by a representative of the Highway Department's Incident Response Team.
And what equipment do you provide them with? We provide the hard hats.
Go the other way.
Which were causing the nudists a considerable amount of trouble at first.
You're not talking to a group that's real experienced with clothing. They supply the energy, the enthusiasm, and the time.
And hopefully in this case they provide
clothing.
No guarantees with these guys.
Well, you never know. But they look like they're all clothed today, so I think we're good to go.
And while taking shots like this one, the camera guy was darn glad of it.
You think there's a moment when people drive by and see your sign and they think,
how come we have our clothes on?
They probably wonder.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
It's hot enough out here, I'm asking the same question.
They might think you guys are inmates when they see you too.
Well, that's probably true.
And you say, nope, just nudists.
We're not that crazy.
We're nudists, we're not stupid.
Of course, it would cause a scene out there on the traffic.
Right. This just happens to be one of those things that's probably better to do fully clothed.
I wouldn't do it any other way. We're just ordinary people that enjoy the sun.
And like anyone else, they aren't big on trash.
Yeah.
They just aren't big on clothing either.
Especially outdoor on a beautiful day like this.
So after they're done here,
back to the club, hot shower, and sit in the hot tub the rest of the afternoon.
Right.
Yep.
Without having to wear the orange vest and the hard hat.
Maybe the hard hat, yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
If you would like more information about the Adopt a Highway program, again, we'll put a link at king5.com. Just click on Evening Magazine. Still ahead tonight. Come take a tour. This could be your next home. If you have $8 million to spare, a rare inside look, the Weyerhaeuser Mansion. That's a bit later in the show. Coming up next, he's one of the sharpest shooters around, and he can barely see his target. He'll explain right after the break. Seattle City Light wants you to expose your monsters, your energy monsters. Shoot a video of the things that are wasting energy, and you could win a $500 gift card, a Power Cost Monitor Wi-Fi bundle, or an iPod Shuffle. In fact, every entry gets a free compact fluorescent bulb. For complete contest rules, head off to king5.com.
You're watching Evening Magazine with St. Brian, Michael King, Kim Holcomb, Jim Dever, and your host, Megan Black. Telling stories from the Northwest like no one else. Evening Magazine.
Welcome back to Evening Magazine from iFLY Seattle, this brand new indoor skydiving facility here in Tukwila. Now this is the wind tunnel. Check this out. This is the wire mesh here. It's kind of like a trampoline. It looks down on what you would think would be the fans, but really the fans are way up there. 4 of them, they recirculate the air, and that's what gives you the liftoff. The wind speeds can get up to 230 miles an hour. It's very smooth, they say, although I don't think I want to start off at 230 miles an hour. We do have a little bit of training to get to. We're going to do that in a few minutes and then have liftoff. Stick around for that. Right now, though, it's time to put on your safety glasses because the sharpest shooter in town is about ready to take aim. Mike Gallion is all about safety. In fact, he wouldn't even fire a shot in the direction of our camera if our photographer was standing there, so he had to walk away, as you can imagine. So what makes this sharpshooter so special? Michael King joins us now with his story. Hey, Michael.
Hi, Megan. He's fast, he's accurate, yet he can barely see the targets. It was just another fishing trip from Mike Gallion as a kid.
I was pulling an anchor rope, and a red jellyfish had apparently gone by and got some of its tentacles wrapped around the anchor rope.
He was 7 years old.
And it was a hot, sweaty July day, and I was wiping perspiration off my face, and I got some of that stinging jellyfish stuff in my eyes. Range is going hot. It very quickly hurt real bad, and I was blind for about 2-3 days.
Decades later, while most of us see this, Mike sees this.
They're usually pretty fuzzy out there.
Yet somehow he finds himself on top of the target shooting world. He is the super senior world champion. Nobody age 65 or up is better at nailing 5 steel targets in the shortest amount of time.
With steel, you get feedback. You hit it and it goes ding or bang or clang or something like that.
His personal record is hitting all 5 targets in 1.46 seconds. How does a guy who's nearly blind pull that off? Well, he made up his own one-of-a-kind technique.
And everybody else says, is that legal? Can you do that? Isn't that cheating or something? And I says, try it. And they say, geez, this is hard. And they go back to shooting however they were shooting.
To compensate for his weak eyesight, he grips the extra-long barrel with 2 fingers, kind of like a claw, and
I got the sight right in close where I can see it. And I got physically grab hold of that thing with a whole fist like that so I can jerk it back and forth between the targets, and for me it seems to work.
When a white blur is in the sight, he pulls the trigger. He's the best because despite his eyes, he is a man of vision.
Now Mike just won the Super Senior Championship for the 2nd year in a row. Also this weekend, he's headed off to Reno, Nevada for the 6th annual Gun Bloggers Rendezvous and Fundraiser. All the monies there will go to buy laptops, voice-activated laptops for injured troops. How cool is that? Just ahead tonight, inside the historic Weyerhaeuser Mansion with all its secrets and surprises. Plus, we take flight. Stick around.
The year is 1989. Evening Magazine teams up with Cube FM to celebrate Seattle's brand new HOV lane.
Yeah, I got 3 buddies gonna cruise to the city. Carpooling, here we come.
Eyes on the road, guys.
Gonna be on time, we're sitting real pretty. Carpooling.